Day 81. Hey, what are you doing today? 4th of July. Kind of a shame. Well, I guess I really shouldn't say that. That's a shame, but it's a rainy, kind of rainy, stormy day. 4th of July is probably my favorite holiday. Um, and not, it's not even so much I enjoy the significance of the day, Independence Day, everything that is contained in that, and everything that that represents. But that's not necessarily why it's my favorite holiday. It was my father's birthday. He's no longer with us, but as a child, it was such a big day. We went over to my grandma's house, and all my aunts and uncles and a bunch of my cousins would all get together, and it was just a very, I always remember being just, nice sunny days. Have the picnic and the grill out outside, having fun with everybody, and we'd walk down to the festival, have some fun at the festival, and then walk back, and we could set up chairs and watch the fireworks from her front yard. And also, it was kind of neat, kind of a strange story, but behind her house there was a small backyard, and then there was the garage behind that, and then behind the garage was another small little grassy backyard, not much, maybe 15 by 15, 20 by 20 feet, somewhere around there. And behind that was a huge granite wall, and on the opposite side of the granite wall was a cemetery. And I remember, being a kid, and some of the aunts and uncles, well, I guess mostly uncles, would jump over that wall, and the rest of us would all stay on the other side of the wall, and we'd have a little fireworks war. They would there were large tombstones. It was an older cemetery, and they'd be ducking behind, and we'd be shooting bottle rockets at each other. Sometimes small bottle rocket would come back in between the garage and the wall, and everybody'd freak out and run away. And I don't, there was a small element of danger in there. There was also, some people might say there was a small element of disrespect for those that had passed. But in my mind, I always felt like it was kind of a celebration for anybody that was there. As they're buried in the ground and quiet, calm, and peace, and then all of a sudden, one day, all this life shows up, and people laughing, having fun, and running around, and the spectacle of the fireworks and the energy and the excitement. So, to me, it was never an element of disrespect. Even as I think of it now, I think of it as must have been a holiday for those souls that were in that area. Hopefully, hopefully it was. But there was definitely no ill intention in it. But it's just a great memory, just that whole 4th of July experience. So 4th of July comes around, and I still want to do. It's in me. I want to go do the Goofy Festival. I want to go sit and watch the fireworks and just enjoy the day. However, today it's supposed to rain all day here, so we'll see what becomes of it. I'm going to talk about two things today. One, as I was doing my morning routine, I was listening to something, and it wasn't really said this way, but this is how I interpreted it, and added it to my notes, my 365 notes, my 365 days of growth that I'm working on here. And those have become very powerful, reading those every day, just ingraining them in my brain, making them part of my psyche and my conscious, and just being aware of the little bits and pieces of information I'm picking up along the way and strengthening them. But today's piece was, I have the right to make my work of art however I want it. And ultimately, I interpreted that as what I'm doing, what I'm sculpting in myself, in my mental, spiritual, social, physical, everything that I'm doing with myself is my work of art, and I have the right to create it however I want, and I'm the artist. And it really put it into perspective, a little different way of looking at things. Looking at I've kind of mentioned it. I guess in the back of my head, I was kind of thinking it already, but to hear someone else say it or to verbalize it, and it kind of put it into a very nice perspective that what I'm doing. I'm working on my piece of art. I'm pulling myself from that zombie, that sleeping state, and really concentrating on what I could do to make myself the way that I really want myself, and to be better with myself. So that's just a good. It was a good piece for me to hear that and to put that in my mind and to think about that. And as I move through these days now, as I'm actively trying to change my thought processes, my emotional reactions, my spiritual outlook, my physical shape, all these things. I look at it as a piece of artwork that I'm working on. And that's inspiring. That adds an element of inspiration that is good. It's always good to have that inspiration, that motivation, that goal, that sense of it, maybe that's the beacon I was talking about putting out there. That's become the beacon. And if I drift off course, I just got to keep coming back to that light, that masterpiece that I'm working on. The other thing I wanted to talk about was yesterday I had mentioned. I came across the idea of keeping the words impeccable, and what that means is the inner conversation, the exterior conversation. More so, I'm kind of concentrating on the inner conversation, the conversation that I'm having with myself, all day mentally and in different situations that I'm in. One thing it's made me aware, for example, today, just a series of things, and these negative thoughts want to come in my head. These, this person's doing that person's doing this, all work-related kind of stuff, and really made me realize what horrible conversations are going on in my brain, and they're entering naturally because that's the way my system is. That's the way I've been, for so long. So they're creeping in, and I'll immediately, I acknowledge them and I shut them down and kick them out, and replace them, making the attempt to replace them with an impeccable thought, a thought that words that don't have any negative connotation, negative assumption, negative, in any way, just kind of erasing that energy and trying to push it to the side. But it was intriguing to me to all of a sudden realize what a dirty, nasty conversation is going on in my brain, and has been for a long time. And it's something that I'm definitely gonna have to work on. It's not something that's gonna change overnight. However, just simply being aware of that, of these thoughts of coming in, of this disliking this person for that, or thinking just any kind of negative whatsoever. I don't want to get into the specifics of the thoughts and how they relate to my work, or how my work relates to those thoughts. But it was like I said, it was intriguing to me to all of a sudden be aware of how negative the conversation is in my brain. I sit and blindly listen to it, again in that zombie state, and just let it pass all day long. And sometimes, those are the things that can make me feel physically ill. Those are the things that can make me feel extremely irritable. Those are the things that create all of that bad energy, that create the bad days, that create those things that spiral out of control, those emotions that spiral out of control. It all stems from those words, those thoughts. And also, I need to, another, on a side note, yesterday and then into this morning, as these thoughts come in, and I'm having a conversation with someone, I might think, something negative and want to shut down a conversation. And what this has allowed me to do is to continue on a very clean way of communication, a very clean way of thinking, a I wouldn't say non-judgment, but trying to get to that non-judgment way of thinking. And a couple of times something has slipped out that was negative, and it's like, wow, it cuts like a knife, when I hear it. However, on the other side, I've had some really good conversations with some really good people. People that before I might have judged in a certain way and held in that negative light of those negative words that crossed through my mind. Now with letting them go, there's a freeing up. There's a more inquisitiveness. There's allowing someone else to give me a little bit of information, give me a little bit more piece of themselves, and in turn that creates a value in that conversation, in that person. I had two really interesting conversations with two people that I think that had I not been trying to cleanse my mind of unimpeccable words, of unimpeccable thoughts, I think that it would have been a completely different experience. And here they were very, I sensed the humanity, I sensed the character of both of these people, and that encourages me to stay on this path and see what it might bring in other people. I mean, it makes me think of all the things I've missed out on, all the conversations, all the emotions, the spirituality, the humanity of people that perhaps I missed out on because I was allowing the negative energy, the negative thoughts to come through. But just want to comment on those things today. So I'm gonna get back in. It's day 81. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy Independence Day. May every day be an Independence Day. And independence from anything negative, and independence from bad thoughts, and independence from the zombie lifestyle, and independence from not growing. If that makes sense. Double. Anyway, but that's what it is. Just want to talk about those things, so I'll finish with that. Just a work of art, constantly under construction. See where I'm at now with this, and keeping thoughts and energy and words that pass through the day very clean. Good stuff for me. So, thanks. Hey, what are you doing today?